And we're back. We're back. Beautiful early summer day in the first hour of the afternoon here in lovely scenic Padre City, South Korea. Playing only the hits. Pride Month special. Even if you're queer and tetchy as all hell, if you can't get a laugh out of this, then you're not human anymore. You've been, the Borg have assumed control. The woke Borg have assumed control of your soul. You might not even have a soul anymore if you can't get a chuckle out of this. I'm not even going through the motions of making even what is the word? The pretense of an apology. No. This is a funny song. The video's not so funny. If you get offended by the video, fair enough. But anyways, I think I'm ready to start remixing. Which of course starts with leveling. And I need to go back and look at my EQing. And then of course I'm going to be using Air Windows Console X, whose creator probably would not approve. He's a very kind and decent man. He's also very, very, very woke. But that doesn't get in the way of my respect for him and his abilities. And his kind and decent nature. He is basically a kind and decent nature. Just some of us are not wired to perceive dangers. Some of us aren't just nearly paranoid enough. And it's like not, I won't go, well, yeah, the Darwinian instinct is not strong in some people. Anywho, I really, I like this stage of the process. I kind of have to be in the right mood for it. And I'm not totally in the right mood for it today. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. And I'd kind of like to take a road trip. But it's kind of a certain, there's kind of a financial rhythm to our household, and it's a part of the month where I got $1 in my pocket for a bottle of cola. That's about it. And I'm homebound today, pretty much. I got gas in the car, but I don't know. I can enjoy the splendid sunshine through my window, the green trees, the people walking and bicycling by, and I'll get into the swing here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, there's at least one part in the drum track, which I'm going to end up retracking at some point anyway, because, I mean, it could be better. So at some point, I'll redo it. I'm still practicing it, but there was one point where, for a few bars, I really lagged behind. And I'm going to let you hear what that sounds like. And then, because I do try to make this channel educational where I can, oftentimes I'm the one getting the education and not giving it. But this is how to, I mean, if you're to the point where you're tracking drums, you know this already. But this is a general editing principle, just a general editing skill. These blips are MIDI notes on the drum kit. And you can see that the ones in white are selected. And in the piano roll editor, which is called piano roll, right there it says piano roll. You select by right-clicking and dragging the mouse, right? And so it's these notes right there for that stretch that significantly lag. And you can see up here on the timeline, this green slider reflects the selection right there. And so here's what it sounds like. So actually I selected a little bit more than I needed to, but so it's fine. Actually, I could shorten that selection a little bit. Because those last three hits are okay. They really don't need to. So, hang on, I gotta check it one more time. Measure twice, cut once. So, those last 3.5, that right there probably doesn't need to be there. But anyway, so I'm going to left click to unselect. And left click to unselect. And then right click and drag to select again. Hello? I don't know why it's not. It's been funny this way. Okay, there we go. So I right click and drag to select, and this far, I think. Okay. And now I could manually drag these hits to the left in the timeline, right? Because they're a little bit late. They need to come in a little earlier, so that's a leftward adjustment. But it's, you don't have to drag them very far. This is for fine tuning like this. Up in the process menu, process nudge, and I'm just going to do a left 2. There's left 1, right 1, left 2, right 2, left 3, right 3, and you can set. In settings, you can set how many ticks those represent. But I'm going to do a left 2, and you can see the nudge visually. You can see it took place right there. And now I'll go back and listen to it again. And now it's actually a little tiny bit ahead. So that was a little too far. So what I'm going to do now in this process nudge menu, two left 1 nudges do not equal 1 left 2 nudge. So 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2 in this menu. I'm going to do 2 left 1s, left 1. And even this might be a little too much, but we'll find out. Left 1. Okay. And all right, I'm going to undo and just 1 left 1. Now it's a little behind again. So I'm going to redo that. Okay, it's good enough for now. The best thing to do is just go in and retract that part, that little stretch. But that's good enough for now. It's not going to bother me as it was before. I think that was the only part that was really bugging me. So I'm going to back out of piano roll view and into track view. And there might have been one other little stretch that was bugging me. I can't exactly remember. If I catch it during workflow here, then I'll just do the same thing. I'll see if I can make a little editing adjustment. It's just a stopgap for the time being. But now I'm going to Control F, and that puts the whole project into one frame. Not Control F, Shift F. That puts the whole project into one frame. And I've got... So I retracked a scratch vocal just right here through this dynamic mic. This dynamic mic actually is pretty good even outside of the tracking booth. I think because it's a dynamic mic, it's not a condenser mic, it's less sensitive. And I think it just doesn't pick up room reflections the way that a condenser does. So I don't get comb filtering issues with it. But basic quality of signal could be better for the final vocal part, right? So this is a placeholder. I have not applied any compression or reverb or anything to it. I'm going to do that in the course of this session. Another thing that I figured out is that so one reason that I had like a different project tracking folder was because in the past, when a project was several tracks in, and then I connected the drum kit, I had just had insurmountable latency issues. It turns out that I can have this number of tracks and I can track drums without those issues, as long as the drum kit is the only VST instrument. If I got an organ or a synth in there or something else, then I'm gonna have the latency issues. But if the drum VST is the only game in town, then it works just fine. So that's good to know. I don't plan to have any organ or synth. I don't plan on having another VST in there. Although, I don't know. I could. But I added it's kind of crazy, but I added 2 more guitar parts. Here, track 5 is King Kong 1. King Kong is my nickname for my Strat because it came from the King Kong department store here in lovely scenic Paju City, South Korea. King Kong 1 and then King Kong 2. Because I thought I could get away with it, because with a Strat, I'm just in awe of the tonal machine that a Strat is, even a cheap one with not the best pickups. I mean, but yeah, those pickups are cheap, stock, from the Chinese factory. I love them anyway. I love them. They're just so bright. They have a presence and a dimensionality that is just lacking in humbuckers. I played humbuckers for years. The only single coil I had is the P90 in my National, and that's a weird pickup. It doesn't behave like the single coils in the Strat behave. I'm a new lover of single coils. I'm a new lover of the Strat. I really underappreciated that guitar for many years. So I was strumming along with the Strat with old King Kong, and I was just amazed how it cut through. So I've got those tracks added, and yeah, it's time to start mixing now. So over here in the master channel, the master bus, I do have some plugins loaded. And hopefully that's not going to cause any issues with like CPU performance during this session, but that remains to be seen. I have a newly downloaded plugin called Limited Z, which I found out about in a YouTube video by what's the name of that channel? Sage Audio, which I forwarded that link to Nico and Phil. Nico came back with like glowing things to say about this limiter, so I thought I would give it a try. If you don't know what a limiter is, look it up. Limiter, compressor, look it up. I'm not going to try to explain it right now. Okay, I'm getting a call, and I don't think I can answer it. If I answer it, it's going to disrupt everything, I think. Let's let it ring through. It's Zane. Zane, sorry, I can't answer right now. I'll call you back if you see this, which you probably won't. Okay, so I've also got a Uleen loudness meter, and I did a playthrough of that last night, and it's peaking around minus 14.3, which is more or less, it could be a tiny bit louder, but so overall level is fine, but individual levels, tracks in relation to each other. Internet money! Listen, motherfucker. You don't come up in my chat calling me little motherfucker, motherfucking fucker, fuck. I'll show you my cock mold. Oh, man, I want to bust that guy's chops, but I don't want him to ban me from his chat. He's tetchy. It's like the lines are not so clear. How many balls can you bust? I'm a ball buster. Anyway. Yeah, I'm just, I don't have any money in my pocket. Internet money? Why'd you call your channel Internet Money? Do you know how to make money on the internet? Can you teach me how to make money on the internet for a fee, of course? I'm serious, man. If you could teach me how to make some money on the internet, I'll pay you a commission or whatever. I've got like 1,000 won in my pocket. So, yeah, I've got to get this song done for Pride Month. My goal is to, is he? Yeah. Well, he's got you as a mod. You've obviously got a skill set. You're helping him. That's cool. He's a character, that guy. That domestic drama the other night was quite something. There is a lot of gay talk, man. He's talking about his schlong and offering to show his and they're really like, see, where I came up, we were always calling each other fags. But of course, it didn't mean, it meant like you're being a fag. Stop being such a fucking fag. It meant that. It was, yeah, they're touchy about it. I don't know. Anyway, what did you think about? This is just between you and me, because you know he is never going to see this. But I was there for the moment when he finished the Mr. Motherfucker yesterday, and he plugged it in and went to town. So I know we're just hearing it through a YouTube stream through presumably his cell phone mic. But what'd you think? I asked a question. I was really careful, but I just asked one question. Nobody answered it, but I phrased it like, is the feedback going to sweeten up over time? Because the feedback was, I don't know, it didn't strike me as being very usable. And he was going on about how it nails the Hendrix sound, but like, to me, Hendrix is about usable feedback. Hendrix would hump his amp stack, he would hump the feedback. And I don't know. He's got to burn it in. I'd like to be in the room and like all right. He doesn't have a way to record guitar tones. He has a studio in there. I saw that was a good ball bust right there. That was some good chops busting. And he had to take it from you because you're a mod. So that was really funny. That gave me a good laugh. That was funny. He doesn't have a way to record guitar tones. He's got a studio in there. He has proper mics. And one time I was like, I kind of asked him in the chat, like, why aren't you using OBS and running your mics through OBS? And just latency, motherfucker. Don't motherfucking talk to me about blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. But he did listen to me. I know he and Amber listened to me about, they were when they were, after they had their makeup sex and they were back on again, he was playing his acoustic, and the acoustic is like, there was in the Android settings, there's like a noise suppression thing in there that was killing the acoustic. And then the next time they came back on, you could hear his acoustic, but Randy hasn't figured it out yet. Anyway, he could be using OBS and getting good sound. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. He needs to treat his live stream like a studio session. Anyway, you can't. A guy like that, you can, it's like you can lead a horse to water, as they say. Anyway, it's astonishing what he does. I'll give him that. I mean, it's astonishing. And yesterday's stream, I think it was yesterday, like he got a bit philosophical and the poetry of the mysteries of electrons and teleportation. It's not amplification, it's teleportation. That was fun. That was an interesting listen. Like, so, yeah. Anyway, I'm just curious but still, all these considerations aside, the feedback did not sound like usable feedback. It was harsh and, not musical. Didn't sound very musical or harmonic to me. So, but maybe that's just me. I used to have a Fender Vibrolux reissue, which was, I loved it. It was it had that Fender vibe. It had that Fender sound. I loved it at the time, but it didn't have good feedback. It was always my main issue with it. No matter what pickups I used, no matter what guitars, no matter what pedals, nothing. The feedback was always just wasn't useful. I couldn't play it. Couldn't play the feedback. So anyways, bro, I don't know if you've heard this song. It has a video that is the best thing I've ever done. The video is the best thing I've ever done. and my goal is to get it to Matt Walsh. If Matt Walsh sees this video and hears this song, I am 100% certain that he'll feature it on his show. But it has a very brief snippet from his documentary "What Is a Woman" in it, and I wrote to his people to get official permission, but I never heard back from them. So I just went ahead and used it. Anyway, this is what it sounds like. It's been crudely leveled. Yeah. Well, those days are gone for me. I mean, this is a very new building. This building is less than 2 years old, and I've never heard a peep from. It's like being in a house with neighbors that are fairly far. I've never heard a peep from any other. It's very quiet. But a big tube amp would just. I've learned from experience, just can't do it. You know Matt Walsh. Well, okay. Then you've got to get this. Okay, for you, I will. I'll give you a sneak preview of the video. Since you're here, for you, I'll give you a sneak preview of the video. And remember, this is not mixed. This is extremely rough. Okay, I don't even have reverb on the vocals. All right, it's like Tom Petty vocals. All right, but here's the video pane. And here we go. Well, there can be no doubt now. The knives are all out now, and the devil, he's done playing nice. And there's no use pretending it all won't soon be ending, whether by fire or ice. And the light proves a curse as the shadows disperse, and the horsemen go mounting their steeds. And if it weren't for damnation, you'd think that salvation was the last thing that anyone needs. And it may seem an odd thing to whisper to God, but I think it is fitting and right. If there's no turning around a world that is hellbound, and I'm praying for the meteorite.
I got a word of knowledge, a word of prophecy, and I want you preaching to use this word of prophecy whithersoever you go. Because God is going to put a burden, God's going to put a cancer in the butthole. God's going to put a cancer in the butthole of every sodomite. Every sodomite butthole, everyone that practices sodomy from the day of this message will get cancer in the butthole. Right there. It'll burn and burn and burn. You'll have to, the manufacturer will have to go into manufacturing chairs where people can stand up because they won't be able to sit down because of the burning in their butthole. Every sodomite, that way we'll know it's a sodomite because it can't sit down.
Ready as paper, flash into vapor, should it come screaming down from above. Such a small price to pay for just even one day without perversions I won't sing of, lest I sully this song with an endlessly long litany of degenerate blight. They all comes, dude. The indictment. Here it comes, man. I didn't dare release this last year.
You're going to need an asbestos. You better go and praise the God and ask God to heal you before this word cools down. You better ask God to heal you, and then you'll tell
candy.
God, I'm going to preach against every sodomite. I'm going to preach against the sodomite thinker, Barack Hussein Obama, the son of Satan.
Here it is, right there, man.
Like James, David Manson said, out of New York City, I'm going to become a sodomite player. Otherwise, you're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole.
And Desmond is Amazing's people. I got permission to use this.
And speechless, laid low in their lurid zeitgeist, and more to make them tremble. I pray it resembles the head of our Lord Jesus Christ, smiling serenely yet ever so keenly as the butt plugs bulge out of their tights, and in their surrender there is only one gender, and it is called Meteorite.
And there's a big explosion right there. That's when the meteor hits the planet and it explodes. But that explosion has to be like automated to occur. So that's it. You got the sneak preview. Thanks for watching. No, I don't do that. I just don't. I refuse. I don't have it in me. Nope. I refuse to see my feedback to other people when I like their shit is always like, that's not long enough, dude. I always say the opposite. People need to just... When did that start? The 3-minute song? What, like Nashville in the 60s or something? It's like, fuck that shit, man. Grow an attention span is what I say. That song is as long as it needs to be and no longer. So... Anyway, it's really rough, and it's going to get a lot better. And I'm using a toolkit that's made by just the wokest of the woke sort of lefty that you can imagine. And if he had pearls around his neck, he'd be clutching them, knowing that I'm using his technology. It looks like this. So I've got Tone Booster's Real Bus first in the Master Bus chain on a setting called Canadian Boards, which has a modulation, has warble and flutter, and I turn that all the way down, but I like what it does. And I've got this limited Z limiter, which Ninko in France raves about. This is a slew trebles filter. My meter, made by the lefty guy. Loudness, and then I've been meaning to find out how we're doing on mid sides. That looks good. See how it does near the end. Okay, so even unremixed, that looks perfect. It means that my EQ settings are basically good. I don't even have a mid-side EQ anywhere in here yet. So, what do you got, man? I only have just USB mics that I could afford. I don't even have a single XLR mic anymore. These are all USB, and I EQ them accordingly. You know, I compensate for some of the issues of USB mics. But what do you got? I love microphones. If I had more money, I'd just have way too many microphones. I like the way they look. We could get into some gay talk here. I like a microphone with a good girth. A nice, heavy shaft of a microphone. You got a studio? You got your own studio? Hey, man. Do you have a Discord account, Discord profile? Are you on Discord? Because if we're going to talk about, see, me going down to Pyeongtaek, it's not like that requires planning and political negotiations, and it's not just a spur of the moment sort of thing. Okay, that's what I have here. It's like, but I like going into someone else's space, and I like that experience too. No Discord, because if you did, it'd be way cooler if you did. I've got a like band of musical brigands on there. We talk, and it's just way easier to talk real time. It's super easy to set up. Download it, install it in 5 minutes, make your profile, and this is my handle. It's super easy. I got my own server with like a chat room in there. You just click and you don't even have to initiate a call. You can chat live, share screen, all that stuff. Anyway, I'm curious to know more. You got my interest piqued, and I assume I'm still welcome to crash on Pete's couch upstairs. So I've been thinking, I almost went down a couple of weekends ago, but decided better of it. Give me, you say you got 5 or 6 good ones. What are they? Hit me. And what kind of DAW are you using? And any other relevant details. You got a tracking booth? Tracking booth? Or tracking room? I mean, doesn't really matter to me. I'd come down and just do it for the fun of it. I don't have money to pay right now, but just for the brotherhood kind of thing. HMU. I'm assuming that's a microphone. Drawing a blank. HMU. I said I like microphones. I didn't say I know everything about all microphones. SSL2 Plus and Reaper. Reaper, yeah. If I wasn't, I started doing Cakewalk before I even knew about Reaper, and by that time it's like, well, I'm not switching over. I'm happy with Cakewalk. I think it's unfairly maligned by people who should know better. It's a fine DAW. It's more than I need. But if I wasn't using it, I'd be using Reaper. Because, nobody has a bad thing to say about Reaper. So I'm listening. HMU, what is that? Is it microphone talk? All right. I'm not an ASIO, whatever. I've got an M Audio black box interface. Over more than 20 years old, and not that that's an excuse, but I'm in Wasapi shared mode. See that? I'm not even in ASIO land. Well, hit you up how? Call you? Did you share your contact details with me? I know you sent me an email. I'm going to go through here while we're chatting and load up Air Windows Console X. I'm going to start with the first 8 tracks. These are frozen, so I'm not going to bother with those yet. So, let's see here. Just load it once and then copy it over. Air Windows Console X channel. And I think it's Shift Control. Control drag. There we go. That's what Console X, the channel strip, looks like. This is these are very out of the box plugins. This is not your typical kind of EQ. This is like EQ that technically isn't EQ. I don't understand all the technical details of it. This is based on a plugin called Stonefire, which is an EQ that's not an EQ. It's more about peak energy than it is frequency. And there's also compression built into it. The small knobs at the top are all about the compression stages, and I'm not so far I haven't. There's a learning curve to this thing. But I used it one time, and I confined myself to the peak energy stages, and I was happy with what I got. And I got to load here a Console X bus at the beginning of that right there. Okay, and I'm ready to start. What you doing on is it today's a holiday. Today's a Korean holiday. You're not working down there today? My missus is out gallivanting with her old school chums today, and if I'd had money in my pocket, I would have come down today. There's a new train, the GTX. It's a speed train. It's like, I can get to the station on my bike in 15 minutes, and then from way up here in Paju to Seoul Station is 20 minutes. And it goes all the way down to Dongtan, I think. So I'm guessing like to Dongtan in maybe 45 minutes. And then switch over to the number 1 line. It's a few more stops to Pyeongtaek. I've been meaning to, but I'm not going to go down there with no money in my pocket. Internet money. Got the day off. Oh, man. Another day. We still got some fine weather. We've got another month of fine weather. Maybe. Depends on when the rains start. I will make it down, dude. Definitely. You've got a music room. You got some studio stuff going on down, and the amp that you built. So, you're actually a stronger magnetic pull for me right now than Pete's bar. But I don't know. There's this guy who frequents Pete's bar. If he's still alive, that we had a falling out that I initiated. But Pete still has to be his host. And I don't know, if I go down there and hang out and then this guy walks in, then, whatever. This guy, I'm not going to mention him by name, but he was doing stuff like he's got an alcohol problem, which I don't judge anybody for having an alcohol problem. I was a drunk for over 30 years. But it's like he's going into Pete's bar and losing control and talking smack to young GIs. And I think one night Pete saved his life, essentially. Like, the guy was going to get his head caved in, And Pete stepped in, and it's like, and I was trying to counsel him, but it just turns into like 2-3 hours on the phone every night with a drunk person who's not even going to remember the conversation the next day, and he's talking shit and being an asshole. And it's like, at some point, and then my pet rabbit died, and then my mother-in-law went into a coma, and she's now deceased, and it's like, I got enough death in my life. Sorry, good luck. It's that guy, if you know who I'm talking about. And I don't know. I love hanging out with Pete. I love hanging out at Pete's. Pete's a great guy. And Pete was a great friend to me at a time in life when I desperately needed a great friend. That kind of friend. A particular kind of friend. Really needed it. And Pete was there for me, man. I think the world of that guy. Anyway, I'm yammering. Let's get to leveling. I don't expect you to spend this beautiful day watching me. I'm not nearly as entertaining as Andy. God, can you imagine being in that room with the chain smoking? Yeah, I've become a real pussy about that. I don't like being in smoky rooms anymore. I vape. I still get my nicotine. I love nicotine, but I couldn't hang out with him. For one thing, I would mouth off and it wouldn't go well. He's oddly sensitive. He's a sensitive guy, Andy. All right. So I'm just going to do a quick play. If you're still there, sorry, I'm not trying to entertain or bore or anything. This is up here for whatever. I just put it up there for my own reference, but also sometimes other people happen along and they watch it and they get something out of it. So I'm just going to go through here in console view and just kind of do some leveling on the fly. And then once I got the levels basically dialed in, then I need to start doing some automation, because you probably heard where the solos, those guitars are noisy, and I need to, and the noise suddenly drops out, and I need to get into the weeds here. So start with the bass.
Well, there can be no doubt now. The knives.
Let's start with that. Let's get some reverb on that vocal. Let's do that. Let's do a reverb send. Okay. Let me see here. Do I have I don't have a reverb. I've got. Oh, that's for the outro. Okay, so. Whoops, not a surround bus. A reverb stereo bus. Reverb send. And if you're still there, do you have the Tone Boosters Legacy Pack? It's my favorite. My favorite thing these days is the Tone Boosters. Okay, tell me about your guitars. Do you know about my guitars? This is my National Res Electric. Sounds like a banjo until you plug it in. It's out of tune. That doesn't happen often. of tune, out of practice. This is my Korean-made Yamaha SG style guitar. It's a literal piece of furniture. The inlay is like the Korean furniture inlay, like literally. That nacre, whatever kind of oyster shell, whatever they use, literally that. Built by some old man in Uijeongbu, and it's a Gibson style guitar. It's good for that tonal palette. And then I've got the King Kong Strat, which I just got like within the last 6 weeks or so. Still, it's back in the corner. It's a white. It's a kind of off-white Strat with a white pick guard. Chinese. Plays great. I love it. I got it for $20. And I'm blown away by the tonal possibilities of a Strat. I was never a Strat guy, and now I am. And then this is the Lean Bear guitar. Also a obscure Korean guitar made by a luthier in Bucheon. And I fell in love with it the day I saw it, and I put the sound hole pickup in, and I had all that done. That's my main acoustic. So what you got? Nope. Oh, and I bought a Segovia cutaway acoustic the other day from an old lady. I think it maybe her husband. My sense was her husband passed away, and she wanted to sell it off. But it has a warp. It has an underbow and a twist. It has a twist toward the bass side, and so that's a project now. But my luthier friend Eric down in North Carolina has said he's going to help walk me through. We're going to try to restore that guitar. It's a cool relic, man. Yeah, I had another acoustic which was custom made by a guy in Hongdae, but I gave that to an old friend of mine for his birthday. And so I'm in need of another acoustic as well. Got high-end stuff. Well, with a name like Internet Money, I didn't expect anything less. Are you going to be circumspect and cryptic, or are you going to tell me what you got? You can't make me jealous. Don't worry about that. I'm not envious of. I love the guitars that I have. I love them all. And they're not high end. Well, the National is very high end for what it is. That's top notch. Dobro, the fuck out of here. National. Made in San Luis Obispo, motherfucker. In probably 1995, maybe that old. It still hasn't shifted in all that time. It's the most stable instrument imaginable. It's unbelievable, that thing. But it has an issue. There's maybe a wiring issue. It doesn't. I plug it into the black box, and or into an amp for that matter, and I just get noise. The P90, there's something going on in there. Do you know how to fix that kind of stuff? Yeah, I want to see. You got my email. Do you know how to fix guitars? You're building an amp. I'm sure you know your way around a soldering iron. I'm sure you know how to rewire a guitar. Because I've got a guitar that's in need of it, but I can't. I just don't have the money to go pay $100 for somebody to do it for me. So I've either got to figure it out myself or rely on the kindness of of people that I somewhat know. So, listen to me. Okay, reverb send. I appreciate you being here, by the way, man. I really do. It makes this a lot more fun. Less productive, but a lot more fun. So I mentioned tone boosters because it's like a pack of like 20-something plugins, and they're great. They're good tools, man. They're better than good. They're great, and they're free. On Humphreys, you know a luthier there? Okay, well. All right. Okay, well, then it's a good thing I just recently picked up another online class. That's money that I can claim. And I'm just going to be like, okay, so I'm going to shoot for next weekend. All right? I'm going to shoot for next weekend. Actually, today's Friday. You know what? Yeah, it's not Saturday, it's Friday. What does tomorrow look like for you? Sometimes bold moves are required in mixing and in life. What's your tomorrow like? I might just like get up really early and make a full day of it if you're amenable. All right. I'm loading Tone Boosters Reverb V4 into the Reverb Send bus demo mode. And let's see, which preset did I like for vocals? I think it was, usually it's Cathedral of some kind. Reverb. Do they have a Cathedral? Cathedral. That's Envelope. This is an amazing reverb plugin, dude. It's got like filter LFO, filter sweep reverbs that sync with the dock lock. Yeah, dude. I'm just gonna start with that one, and let me see. Well, wet all the way up, dry. Bring dry down to like, let's say 30, 35, and do my send. I haven't even done compression yet, though. All right. Let's see, wait a minute. Where's the send? Whoops. Sends. There we go. Reverb send. And here in Cakewalk, we've got something called the Pro Channel, which is in the signal path. It's the first stage past the input trim, and it's just a place to make some preliminary settings. There's a console emulator with some useful presets, so I'm doing that now. Vocals smooth. The EQ, always got a hand EQ vocals, but for the time being, I'm gonna just go with a preset just for the time being. That's a good one right there. And I don't use the Pro Channel compressor. Going into the channel, Waves IDX, and that's going to be at like 31.9. It's a very particular number. Speed at 179. Again, a very particular number. All right. And then after that, it's going to be a tool that I want to use. Oh, ADHD leveling tool. We're going to give that a shot. And I'm going to load gonna load Tone Boosters Evoke. And actually, I'm gonna bypass ADHD and try Evoke first.
Well, there can be no doubt now. The knives are all out now, and the devil, he's done playing nice. And there's no use pretending it all won't soon be ending, whether by fire or ice. And the light proves a curse as the shadows disperse, and the horsemen go mounting their steeds. And if it weren't for damnation, you'd think that salvation was the last thing that anyone needs. And it may seem an odd thing to whisper to God, but I think it is fitting and right. If there's no turning around a world that is hellbound, and I'm praying for the meteorite.
I got a word for you. I got a word of knowledge, a word of prophecy.
Well, there can be no doubt now. The knives are all out now, and the devil, he's done playing nice. And there's no use pretending it all won't soon be ending, whether by fire or ice. And the light proves a curse as the shadows disperse, and the horsemen go mounting their steeds. And if it weren't for damnation, you'd think that salvation was the last thing that anyone needs. And it may seem an odd thing to whisper to God, but I think it is fitting and right. If there's no turning around a world that is hellbound, and I'm praying for the meteorite.
I got a word for you. I got a word of knowledge.
Okay, it's good enough for now. I'm awaiting word from you, sir, on tomorrow and or Sunday. If it can't be this weekend, then how about next weekend? Maybe because I got Kung Fu tomorrow. What about tomorrow night and Sunday day? If you're still there. So like I roll in sometime around 9-10 p.m. Maybe a little earlier tomorrow night. And yeah, fuck around, find out, get up on Sunday. If you can get me on base, I don't know if they'll let me on. I'll bring my passport. Next weekend? All right. What about that kind of deal? Like come down on Saturday night and like we hang out and do musical stuff on Sunday. That's my idea. Okay. Oh, all right. You got a wedding? Is that like a side hustle or something? You got to go be a best man, or are you doing running sound for it, or what? Okay. Let me see. Bass. I'm working while we're talking here. Bass. Bass. Pro channel. And yeah, everything's set. Well, bass. Nope. Bass. Fat. Bass. 2. This is before yeah. Okay. I want to get rid of this compressor because I don't like it. Remove module. And bass round and smooth. Turn that on. And now I want to insert the PC2A leveler. There. I really like this thing for bass.
Well, there can be no doubt now. The knives are all out now, and the devil, he's done playing nice. And there's no use pretending it all won't soon be ending, whether by fire or ice. And the light proves a curse as the shadows disperse, and the horsemen go mounting their steeds. And if it weren't for damnation, you'd think that salvation was the last thing that anyone needs. And it may seem an odd thing to whisper to God, but I think it is fitting and right. If there's no turning around a world that is hellbound.
The bass is that's why. Wait a minute. I gotta there's something else I gotta do with this bass line. Cool. Oh, okay. So you're just going as a guest. Well, that's cool. You can get drunk and eat too much. All right, the bass comes in. The bass comes in at the right time. But I did a maneuver. I did something a couple of days ago that threw everything out of whack, and I forgot to. I gotta. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay. Yeah, there's where it goes out. So you heard the whole song, most of it with a bass track that wasn't even. Oh shit. Well, this is actually how many clips do I have in this bass track? How many? I don't know. I've got to quickly assess how much of a chore this is going to be because I don't want to do this on stream. It's too tedious. So I may sign off here in just a minute. Let me see. Well, it's only It's only 3 clips. I should be able to figure out what's going on here. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Everything got messed up. Everything got messed up. Oh, boy. Wait a minute. No, there's a, there's a way. There's a shortcut, I think. I'm going to open up the old project. And it's a good thing. Save as, man. Save as. Always save as. There it is. And there's one that's called Praying for the Meteorite Full Bass. It must be when I finished the bass track, and I named it after that. So what I'm going to do is just do a mix down of that channel and import it and hope it lines up. It's an audio file, not a MIDI file, so it should line up. What a beautiful day to be driving, man. I'm going to have to see, there's my bass. That's all in one. It's all in one piece right there. So let me see. If I unfreeze it, then I'm going to have to. No, if I unfreeze it, I should be fine. Here goes. Unfreeze. Yeah, we're good. All right, it's just if I try to refreeze it, then I got issues. Now, turn off the effects rack, turn off the Pro channel. Make sure Pro channel is off. Global, is that global? Global off, there we go. And make sure that the level is 0. Boom. Okay, now export audio. That's track 4. Let's see. Wait a minute. Source category. Tracks. Only track 4. Boom. The mixdown might. Okay, so I might have to. I don't know. I might have to stop the stream because this mixdown. What happens is if I freeze a track or I do a mixdown, then it causes a monitoring delay with OBS, so I can't talk and mix and do that because. Before I do this, I'm going to try one. Nah, it's not going to work. It's too big for the clipboard. All right, here goes. We'll see. Audio export success. I've got to restart OBS. Okay. Nothing to be done about it. Thanks for stopping by, and let's firm up the details on next weekend. Whether by email or otherwise. But we can talk on the phone, I guess. I think you sent your number in your email, so if you get a call from a unfamiliar number, it might be me and not spam. Okay. So back in a few for this session title continued. Over and out.